Hello and welcome back to Scriptcase by Jamie, and it is Macro Friday today. Last week Friday was Good Friday, so we had a little break for that, for all those reasons. So today we're back with Macro Friday with a whole new macro for you to check out. Now this macro is not really a macro that you would use very often, but it is still an important macro that is within the Scriptcase macro arsenal. And it is called the SCAPL default macro. So let's dive in, shall we? Hello and welcome back to Macro Friday. Today we are checking out the SCAPL default macro. Now this macro is kind of special because this macro allows you to set the default login location or return location, should I say, once a session finishes. So this specific macro, you would place this, for instance, on your login page. Now, if you are using already the Scriptcase modules, and up here we have the security suite. Now if you are using the security suite already, you will more than likely already have this macro defined there, and I will show you that in a moment, and then you can basically see where you would use it. Now it's pretty straightforward, so yes, it is a pretty quick video today, I'm afraid, because, well, it's a very quick and easy macro and there's not much to it. So let's come here to my home panel, and here I will visit my security folder within my project, of course in my Scriptcase environment. Where else would I be? Now here I have typically my login page. Now I've actually moved that to my root folder so that I can quickly just run it from here as and when I want to, and open it as and when I want to. So that's just something I like to do. So I've placed that in root. Now typically you will find this application, your app login, within your security folder once you have generated the security environments, any of them, via the security module. Now within here we have our events. Now, onValidate and onValidate success allow us basically to validate the user login, check all of their accesses, yada yada, make sure they're good, and then on success here is when we then pass them on. We say then this is how we're going to finalize everything and move them to the next stage. Now we have here the SC validate success, and that is using here a PHP method. So you can see that it's being used here on the onValidate success. All right. Now here we have then the SC validate success, which is then the macro being used there, or the method, sorry. And within here we are using the SC_APL_default. And as it indicates here, it says app login. And that basically tells the application that once the session has finished, that we are then going to be returned to the app login. So this is basically held within the user session, and then within the user session, when that session finishes, this has already been defined. Now this macro is of course available within the macros that we have here within Scriptcase, and you can see here there is an extra type there that we can define, and that is redirects immediately to the specified application, or M displays a message before redirecting. Now, funny enough, this displays something completely different, okay? And that is not available in here. Now, you may notice, well, here we have an R, actually. Is that also an R, or is that a G? Because it looks like a G to me. No, it is actually an R. So the R here will then redirect immediately. Now, when we actually set here our security module, and we go through those settings, we actually have the option to define where to redirect to. And that is then where this macro comes into place. And that is then automatically configured via your security configuration when you use the modules. Now, in the case of you generating or creating your own login page without using the security suite, then of course you can go ahead and use this specific macro to define where the user is returned to once the session finishes. And of course, you can also use this on any other application you want to, really. If you have a specific purpose for it, and when the session finishes, maybe you want to redirect them back to your alternative login that you have, wherever that may be. This is the macro you use to actually make that adjustment or that improvement to your application. Now, I hope this video was helpful to you. Of course, a very simple macro. There isn't really much to show with this one. You would have to wait for a session to finish and yada yada. So that is pretty boring, of course, and it's not really going to help you. But I think in general, the explanation helps. And if you use this macro, of course, let me know down in the comments. I've never used this macro myself before. It's always been within the security module. So just use it there. Just use the security modules. They're all pretty powerful. Now, if you've never used the modules before, you have, of course, the individual user. You have the group user. You have the application as well as LDAP and LDAP application options. So these are pretty robust and very powerful. So of course, go ahead and use the modules available within Scriptcase and don't worry about this macro. Thanks very much for watching, and until the next video.